I'm missing my governor really, but by the grace of God, I know God will touch the governor's heart. So, Mr. Governor, please, if there's anything you feel that I've done, I am sorry. I need us to work together to finish well and strong, because that is my prayer for you.
It is not the best of times for the relationship between the Edo State governor and the deputy. But the deputy governor, Philip Shuaibu, has finally apologized to his principal, Godswill Obaseki, pleading for forgiveness. It is quite emotional and a big lesson for others in using the word sorry to resolve an issue that would have ordinarily cost both parties bloodshed. But that is not the focus of political update today, but we are concerned with the political developments in Kano State. It is no longer news that the governor of Kano State, who emerged at the March 18, 2023 election, Yusuf Abba of the NNPP, has been sacked by the Election Petition Tribunal, though Governor Yusuf Abba has since promised to appeal the verdict. But what are some of the issues to deliberate after the judgment as we wait for the appeal at the upper room? So stay back for this edition of Political Update that promises to be engaging. I am Mie Ogede. You are welcome. Deputy Governor of Edo State, Comrade Philip Shuaibu, has again reaffirmed his loyalty and commitment to Governor Godwin Obaseki, asking for his forgiveness and understanding in whatever that gave rise to the lingering face-off between them. The deputy governor, while addressing some journalists in his private residence in Benin City, went emotional and said he was missing his governor, hoping that the relationship returns soon so that together they continue to serve the people of Edo State together.
We have resumed. There's no problem about it. The governor have asked us to go there. We are going. I am, like I always tell people, I am a loyal servant. I am a loyal servant. There's nothing that has changed. I took a personal vow to support my governor, and you can see my Catholic people are here. Everything about me, if I have a vow with God, there's nothing that will change it. And I can only wish that that relationship that we have, I pray, I know in the next few days and weeks it will come back. I'm missing my governor really, but by the grace of God, I know God will touch the governor's heart and touch all of us. And even those that are trying to be in between, God will touch them to know that I mean well. If there's any mistake that I've made as human, it's just human. It's not out of maybe wickedness, because I'm not wicked. I have a very clean heart. And I will use the medium too to appeal to Mr. Governor. If there's anything that I don't know that I've done, please forgive me, so that we can develop our state together. We have just less than how many months? Just 1 year to go. We have been the envy of the entire country. It's still possible. So, Mr. Governor, please, if there's anything you feel that I've done, I am sorry. I need us to work together to finish well and strong, because that is my prayer for you.
That is quite remorseful. Let's go to other electoral matters. The Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, sitting in Kano State, has nullified the election of Abba Kabir Yusuf of the NNPP as governor and declared Nasiru Yusuf Gawuna of APC winner. Chairman of the tribunal, Justice Oluyemi Osadebe, who delivered the judgment, described the election of Abba as invalid.
APC filed a petition challenging the declaration of Abba Kabir Yusuf as the winner of the governorship election conducted on 18th March 2023. In a 5-volume petition, the petitioner is praying for the tribunal to declare that Abba Kabir Yusuf is not qualified to contest the election and that his name was not in the membership register NNPP sent to INEC. The petitioner also based its petition on overvoting and non-accreditation of voters in some polling units. Chairman of the tribunal, Justice Oluyomi Osadebe, said, having not in the party's register sent to INEC, Abba is not qualified to contest the election. Justice Osadebe further said, in the case where the margin lead is less than the total number of votes cancelled, INEC should declare the result inconclusive, citing reference to Section 135 of the Electoral Act 2022.
Section 177 said that for somebody to participate in an election, he must be a member of a political party and he must be sponsored by that political party.
This is a decision of the court. We will look at it, as I said, and we will do the necessary things by filing the appeal immediately.
Osadebe further declared that INEC should issue the certificate of return to Nasir Yusuf Gawuna as the governor of Kano State.
Still on that same matter, APC member of House of Representatives from Kano State, Sani Umar Bala, has noted that it is within the rights of the contending political parties to further dispute or accept the judgment issued by the Governorship Election Petition Tribunal. He was reacting to the tribunal verdict on Kano State governorship election with a call for calm on the citizens.
Natural, you will have an outcome, whether positive or negative, depending on how they view and feel it. They have the right and chance to appeal. It's not very natural, but the tribunals have given its judgment. If they want to go to appeal, no problem, and even after the appeal, they are free to go to the Supreme Court before finally we know who they are. But I'm sure with the parts that were available, APC really won the election. That is just our belief. I advise that they should be peaceful and they should work in compliance with the directive of the government to be peaceful and calm. Everything will be under control.
We have two guests to discuss on that developing story. One is the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Kano State, Yusuf Abba. He will join us shortly from his residence in Kano. His name is Sansi Baturi Dawaki Tufa, Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Kano State. That is Abba Yusuf from the NNPP. And we also have the Special Advisor to the National Chairman of APC, Okpungwe Ogenye. Sorry, I hope I got that right. Okay, so let's begin with you. What was the initial reaction when you got that judgment, I think on Wednesday, from Kano State, sacking the incumbent governor by the tribunal?
Thank you very much. The Wednesday decision of the Election Petition Tribunal in Kano State was a welcome development. It was a moment that the people of Kano have been waiting for over the days. You will agree with me that NNPP was in a hurry to rig the governorship election in Kano State. They had prepared some young persons to instill violence, and they did cause violence in major local government areas
From Kano.
where they chased away INEC officials, took possession of materials, electoral materials, and they thumbprinted on those INEC ballot papers, stuffed them into the box, and they think it could be accepted. Well, the Electoral Act is very clear. In sections 63, 64, 65, made it very clear what validate and invalidate the result of election. You also agree with me that during that period of the March 18th election in Kano State, these guys were ready to instill violence, and they were indeed causing it. But APC, as a law-abiding party, decided to be peaceful, knowing fully well that whatsoever they do contrary to the Electoral Act, will be upturned by the competent court of jurisdiction. And on Wednesday, mark that milestone where the justices came out courageously and decided the true justice for the people of Kano State. I want you to understand this. In Kano, INEC declared 1,090,000 and something vote for the NNPP and declared 895,000 vote, 890,000 vote for the APC. But during this period of legal tussle, my party sought the leave of court to inspect the electoral materials, especially the voting materials. And the NNPP objected to it, knowing fully well that they have done some wrongdoings at the process of this election. They went and appealed the decision of the tribunal. And the appeal court ruled in favor of the APC, granted the leave to inspect these voting materials. At the end of the day, we discover that 165,000 votes were completed, stuffed into the ballot boxes without...
I think we have that graphics, if we can display it side by side while he's talking about it, because... Because we have those details, sir.
Yes.
Yes, already.
So without any coherent or understanding with even the electoral officers, you will agree with me that since the electoral officers, the presiding officer, returning officers were chased out of the environment, they took possession and became whatsoever they want to be. And today, justice has been served. The Kano people are jubilating. You will agree with me that if you go to Kano, between that Wednesday, when the decision was taken, the people of Kano were celebrating all over, including the ones in diaspora. You will also agree with me that before the decision of the tribunal, the government of Governor Abba Yusuf had sponsored some protests against the decision, knowing fully well that the justice were ready to deliver just judgment. They decided to organize protests to Government House. You have not seen the outcome of the tribunal. You are organizing protests ahead of it, castigating the judicial officers, and the Commissioner of Police had earlier placed a ban on street protests before that day. But the governor still sent these people to Government House in batches, received them in audience. Listen, he received them in audience and addressed them in Government House.
No,
the chief security officer of the state.
Wait a minute. I think very soon the chief press secretary to the governor will also join us. But that Wednesday, I remember the governor addressed a press, kind of statewide broadcast, calling also the people of Kano to remain calm, while that of the state commissioner of police declared a 24-hour curfew, though that has been, suspended. Well, when this result was announced after the election, that was sometime March this year, your governor congratulated the current governor from NNPP. When that congratulatory message was issued, when that story was okay, if we have the chief press secretary, let's hear from the chief press secretary to the governor of Kano State. From Kano, let's hear from him. I think he's been following us. If you can hear me, so much has been said about your governor and your party. So if you can hear me very loud and clear, I think we need to hear from you, because the man from the other side has spoken quite over 10 minutes. So I may also give you some good time to talk to us on some of the reactions after that judgment. Please, let's hear from you. Chief Press Secretary, if you can hear me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's hear from you.
The issue of this judgment came as a surprise to many because of the disposition of the national ruling party, which is the APC. First of all, the judgment was preempted by the APC because they have lined up their supporters to come out and jubilate, which are too insignificant in number. And the judgment was based on unstamped ballot papers. And you know, in law, probably the perception of judges might come to play, and it depends on whatever perception they are able to get. It has been an election keenly contested, and we won with a wide margin of over 120,000 votes. And during this election, the APC has the national government, and the APC controls Kano State, because Ganduje at that time was the governor. And they have orchestrated a lot of crimes at that time. They disenfranchised a lot of voters. They maimed a lot of people. A lot of people were killed during the elections. But despite these crimes, these state-sponsored crimes, the people of Kano State
CPS, please, if you can hear me, please, CPS.
NNPP candidate.
Please, CPS, just a moment, please. Just a moment, please, CPS. Please.
If NNPP wins the election,
please, CPS,
we will not be declared the winner.
Thank you very much.
And after the declaration, they said the candidate of the NNPP, which is the current governor, will not be given the certificate of return. After he received the certificate of return, they also said that he will not be sworn in. He was sworn in. And after the swearing in, they went to court. And from the beginning of the court processes, they have a very weak case. Weak case in the sense that they challenged the status of His Excellency Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf as a member of the NNPP, which has been clearly stated by the court that that has been, is supposed to be a pre-election matter. And I personally escorted His Excellency to Iso Chirenchu Ward to register as an NNPP member on 28th of March 2022,
CPS,
which is just over a year, way before the election.
CPS, just a minute.
So,
please,
on the issue of the unstamped ballot papers, the law said, yes, they can be invalid. But the subsection 2 of that particular portion of the Electoral Act said, so far the returning officer is convinced that those ballot papers are from the ballot papers delivered by INEC at the polling station, then they are valid. Okay. So therefore, and even the 165 ballot papers that they are referring to, are they only for the NNPP? There must be some unstamped ballot papers for the PDP and also for the APC. So therefore, this is an unfair judgment, this is an unjust judgment that we are set to challenge at the appeal court, and we are so optimistic by the Nigerian judiciary that we will get justice at the upper courts.
Okay, let me, the whole issue boiled down to section 63 of the Electoral Act, which says that section 62 sub 2 says a ballot paper which does not bear official mark prescribed by the commission, that is INEC, shall not be counted. If the returning officer is satisfied that a ballot paper which does not bear the official mark was from a book of ballot papers which was furnished to the presiding officer of the polling unit in which the vote was cast for use at the election in question, he or she shall, notwithstanding the absence of the official mark, count that ballot paper. I know where you are taking your position from. But initially you made some allegations about the governor killings here and there. I think these are still subject to security investigation, and probably your ex-principal, the governor of Kano State, is the chief security officer. Now, these are things I think him and the commissioner of police and the state security council can decide on, or they can even forward them to the headquarters. But let's limit ourselves to the issue at hand. Let me still bring you in, because at least you lost a lot of time while trying to put up with the TV in your place in Kano. Now the APC says your party deliberately perpetrated this act, and also part of the judgment says this 165,000 ballot papers were voted in favor of NNPP, and they are not in the INEC provided ballot papers. And probably, I think I was not in the court, but INEC was also a respondent to some of these allegations at the court, and probably their witnesses were also called. So why are you saying those 165,000 ballot papers cannot all be for NNPP, but probably for some other political parties? Where did you get that fact from? Other political parties.
The reality of the matter is that when they were granted permission to inspect the INEC materials at the different local governments, there may be a connivance with some officials somewhere, and then probably they just listed some of these ballot papers, probably because we were not able to pursue them at that time to ensure that what they did is in our presence, is in the presence of our representative. But that aside, the reality is what the judges did is more powerful. What the judges did is something that cannot even be done by the lawyers of the APC and the witnesses presented by the APC. They listed thousands of witnesses to be presented, and unfortunately they ended up presenting only 32 witnesses. And from those 32 witnesses at the cross-examination level, most of them has denounced their deposition of oath. So therefore, there's no point that you admit all those evidences that are unfounded. Because there's no reason you can accept all the evidences from the petitioner at that time, you understand, and then allege that all those ballot papers belong to the NNPP candidates at that time. Because the NNPP candidate pulled out over 1 million votes. And then at that time, if you're talking about he's referring to malpractice. We don't have the power to do any malpractice because we don't have the federal might, we don't have any security agents, the police, the military, the DSS, and whoever is not being controlled by the NNPP at that time because we don't have a councillor in Nigeria.
Okay,
what we are is just a new opposition party managed by our
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, CPS. Let's also bring in. Let's also bring in the man from APC here because we don't actually have time. So the essay to the national chairman of APC. Let's briefly hear your reaction. Just 1 minute. Let's hear from you too.
NNPP will win anywhere. The chairman of the party.
Thank you very much.
Let's hear from you too.
Thank you very much. Clearly, from the position of the chief press secretary to the governor of Kano State, it is even clear that they truly lost the election. This is so because the chief press secretary said they were not able at that time to pursue the people that were inspecting the electoral material. How on earth would you have won the election genuinely and you are in government and your opponent have challenged you in court, sought leave of court to inspect materials, you appeal that particular decision of the court to the appeal court ruled in favor of the APC to inspect material, and when it was time for inspection of material, you will say you are no longer available. So it is ridiculous and laughable. It shows that they know what they did and they do not want to go and join the crisis in order not to bury their head. But wait, let me tell you this. He has quietly raised a number of issues here. He said the APC lined up its supporters ahead of the judgment. Of course, the ANPP had sent people to protest in government house before the judgment was delivered.
Okay, I think that is one draw from to the two guests, and I think that is what we can take.
No, please.
We don't have time.
Let's get it right. We don't have time. Let's get it right.
No, but you have made your point.
NNPP position people to protest.
You have made your point.
That was not
NNPP said, you people and APC prepared for the celebration before the judgment, and you said NNPP already mobilized people to protest in government house before the judgment. So I think these are two valid points from the two guests.
I didn't say they mobilized people to protest. I said they protested.
It's okay.
They mobilized people,
but all these are
they were received by the governor.
But all these are events.
Afterthought that the governor came out to tell the Kano people to
it's all right. It's okay. It's okay.
All of that.
All these events happened before the judgment, so they are pre-judgment events. So
yes,
these are just blames and counter blames. But we have to end this discussion on a very peaceful note, because as the world marks Peace Day yesterday, the National Unity and Peace Corps has called on Nigerians to always demonstrate love to one another. despite political, religious, or ethnic differences. So let's take a track up of that and round off today's edition.
Nigeria and Nigerians must embrace positive in all that we do, even in our private and individual closets, because those actions, inactions, and ambitions must manifest in the larger society. National Unity and Peace Corps hereby plead with the present administration to please grant assent to the bill of the National Unity and Peace Corps, which will soon be legislated by the National Assembly and transmitted to the presidency. We hereby call on all non-state actors in Nigeria and the country to lay down their arms and embrace positive action, inaction, ambition for total peace in the country.
It was quite an engaging moment. I must thank the CPS to the Kano State Governor and also the SA to the National Chairman of APC for coming on this program with very insightful, informative, and educative perspectives to that judgment as we await that of the appeal court. My name is May Ogede. Have a fabulous weekend as we hope to see you again on Tuesday with another fresh package.